Hi, my name is John Campbell, and I'm running for the 53rd Congressional District of California. What I want to talk to you about today is what my priorities are. There are a lot of issues out there, and I'm going to focus on these issues. Um, I would say first and foremost is fiscal responsibility. And a little bit of background about myself. I'm operations professional primarily, and within the operations, there's a lot of things going on, but ultimately you need to make sure that you take in as much money as you spend. And that allows you to have an ongoing entity that can continue to do whatever its mission is. In the case of the government of the United States, we need to make sure that we have the fiscal responsibility and accountability to be able to continue running the government. And as I mentioned before, if we if we were to approach $20 trillion in debt, which we're getting close, we're in the $17 trillion range. If the interest rates normalize to 5%, that actually equates to a $1 trillion payment per year on that debt. And that's an enormous amount of money that will be spent that's just paying the interest. That's not even addressing the debt. So that will be my number one goal and priority is the fiscal responsibility. Another one is government accountability, and that falls into a variety of areas. One of them would be campaign finance reform. As I'm going through this campaign, I'm noticing a lot of factors involved in the necessity for money to run a campaign. And undoubtedly that impacts people's decisions, which in many cases is a bad thing. Another scenario that under the government accountability is the Whistleblower Program. We all know about Edward Snowden, and we all have different opinions on him, and I think ultimately most people would agree that he committed a crime. But I would like to see more programs in place that allow him to present that information where he's not committing a crime. And we need to have the ability for people who are inside an organization and seeing things that are going bad, they need to be able to get the word out. And in fact, I would argue that in some cases they need to be celebrated for getting the word out because they're the eyes and ears on the inside, and that's just another way that we need to increase the accountability. So a third area that I would like to focus on is what I call diffusion of power. I think most people would agree that any concentration of power uh, when it grows too much is a bad thing. And that could be power of political parties. It could be power of Wall Street and the banks. It could be power on K Street with the lobbyists. It could be federal power over state power over city power. There's constantly guards that we need to be putting in place to curb that concentration of power, and those are things that I would be looking to do on a continual basis. Another area, kind of some subsets of what I call operational or structural issues, are things like patent law. It actually affects a lot of the things that not only have been brought to the market thus far, but things that will be brought to the market in the future. And I don't think patent law has been um, as current and updated as it needs to be with our changing technology and our global interaction. Another one is privacy, which is a big deal. And I think we need to get a lot more clear delineation on where those privacy boundaries are. I very much respect the individual's right to privacy and want to make sure that that is maintained. And I think in the environment we have right now, I don't think that's the case. In fact, I find it very frustrating that my sense is, I mean, this is being a little bit looking into it a little bit too deep, but I wouldn't be surprised if my emails are being read because I'm running for Congress. And that's an absurd statement, but I think in our environment now, we're getting to the point where that might be a normal way of thought, and that doesn't sit well with me. So privacy is another matter that I want to address. One other issue that I want to try and portray in my candidacy, because I am a nonpartisan, is trying to bridge the gap on issues that have become partisan. And perhaps I can be that go-between that will allow the parties to get to a resolution without having to give the other party a win, which is a big challenge in today's environment. So that's just a brief overview of what my priorities would be. As I mentioned before, a lot of times they'll be viewed through the spectrum of sustainability in an all-encompassing sense, and also a consumer-driven point of view, which I will address in an additional video. So hopefully that gives you a little bit more color on what I'm looking to do as a congressional candidate, and hope you find out more information on the other videos, and thank you for your time.